What's up everybody, this is Danny and welcome to my camera comparison between the iPhone 8 Plus and the Galaxy Note 8. So I'm going to start with the front-facing cameras first. This is a walking test so you can see what the stabilization is like handheld. And the iPhone 8 Plus has a 7 megapixel camera that shoots up to 1080p video. And the Note 8 has an 8 megapixel camera that can shoot up to 1440p video. So higher resolution here on the Note 8. So let me know which one looks better. And I'm going to switch in between the audio sources. So let me know which microphone sounds best. So both of these phones have dual camera setups. They also have unique special software features that differentiate them from each other. So I'm going to take a bunch of 4K video, tons of test shots in low light, good light, medium light, and let's see which one comes out on top. So let me start this off by saying that all of these photos were taken in auto mode to make things fair. This is what most people use when taking pictures. So the Note 8 does have a great manual mode for fine-tuning pics, so keep that in mind. And if you want to do that with the iPhone, you will need a third-party app. Alright, so after looking at more than 100 photos side by side, the thing to take away from this is that they are both fantastic cameras. The daylight pictures look amazing. Both are full of dynamic range, they're nice and sharp, and you won't be disappointed with either one of these. But there are a few things to point out. As usual, the iPhone tends to land on the warmer and more natural color side still, even though this year I've noticed that there's increased contrast and saturation in the processing, where the Note 8 lands a little cooler in the white balance, and your colors and saturation and contrast are great straight out of the camera. I personally like capturing what I'm seeing at the time and then add what I want to change later before posting or sharing the pictures, but I wouldn't blame the general public at all for favoring the Note 8's pictures right out of the camera. They look stunning. One thing on the technical side, that some pictures on the iPhone 8 Plus is showing much higher dynamic range, even with both images being shot on auto HDR and producing HDR pictures. Look at the window out there, you can clearly see the trees in the iPhone shot where the Note 8 is more blown out. You can also see it in some of the shots with the clouds as well, and even with flowers and mixed light sources, you can see that the iPhone is displaying higher dynamic range. They both handle reds very well, but I think the Note 8 handles them a little bit better. They look a little bit more true to life. But I did notice on macro shots for the first time that the iPhone shots look sharper with more detail, even though I feel the auto white balance is being handled better on the Note 8. They both have dual camera systems with dual 12 megapixel sensors on each. They both have dope D-brand skins on them. The second camera on both uses a 2x zoom setup, and they both look great in daylight. The same characteristics that I talked about before to the main cameras, they apply here too. They both use the second camera to perform a blurry background effect. The Note 8's is called Live Focus, and the iPhone's is called Portrait Mode. Let me know which one that you think looks better. They both do a great job of separating the background, but I think that the iPhone for the most part produces the better outcome. There are some exceptions, of course, and with the Note 8 you can get more of a background blur because you have full control of that while and after you take the shot, which is really nice, and you have the opportunity to get both the wide angle shot and the zoom shot at the same time. So if you don't like that 2x zoom shot, you can always use the regular wide angle shot. This is a really cool feature. The iPhone has new features this year for portrait mode, and while you can't control the amount of background blur, you can simulate different lighting from natural light to studio light, contour light, or the cool stage light and stage light mono modes. This can give your photos a great look. Both of these phones can fail at detecting subjects, and it doesn't work all the time, but when it hits, they are great looking photos, and some of them you won't even believe that you shot on a mobile phone. For food pictures and indoor pictures, they both do a great job, so I don't think you'll be disappointed by either. If you take a lot of videos on your smartphone, then you'll be happy to know that both of them shoot up to 4K video. Surprisingly, the Note 8's image is flatter with less color and saturation and handles the highlights better, so that'll be great for post-processing, where the iPhone 8 Plus's image looks more ready to share with more saturation and contrast. The iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and 10 are the first phones to actually shoot in 4K 60 frames per second. If you want to see what that looks like, I did a separate video on that, and I will leave a link for you. But Samsung stated that the feature will also come to the Note 8 by a software update soon, so that's great news for Note 8 owners. Here's a walking test to test out the stabilization. They are both shooting in 4K. They are both doing a great job. I'm walking pretty fast here, but if I had to call it, I think the iPhone is a little smoother here, but as soon as you get into that secondary 2x lens, it's a disaster for the iPhone 8 Plus because there is no optical image stabilization in this lens, and if you want that, then you will need to buy the iPhone 10. But the Note 8 has optical image stabilization in both cameras, so that's a great feature. And the Note 8 secondary camera is f2.4 versus the iPhone 8 Plus's f2.8 in aperture, so low light or indoor performance is noticeably better on the Note 8. Once the iPhone 10 is released, I will need to redo this test, and I will do that, so stay tuned for that video. They both shoot slow motion at 240 frames per second, but the iPhone 8 Plus shoots in 1080p resolution, where the Note 8 shoots it in 720p resolution. So just looking at them side by side, I prefer the one from the iPhone. It is sharper, has better colors and contrast, but let me know what you think. Going into a little bit more difficult lighting situations, I was surprised to see that the iPhone had the cooler color temperature here and the Note 8 showing the more warmer and realistic colors. While that didn't last through the entire test, this shows how much Samsung's processing has improved over the years. The images go back and forth. On some shots, the iPhone comfortably has a much better shot, where some others, the Note 8 has better contrast and colors. So once again, you'll really have to nitpick these. It's a personal preference most of the time, but when it comes to harsher low light conditions, I did notice that the colors being handled a little bit better by the iPhone. Especially in this shot, this Coca-Cola building's colors are completely misrepresented by the Note 8. I'm not sure what happened here. I took this shot like 4 times to make sure it wasn't me, but the rest of the night sky shots perform well on both sides. So let me know which one you guys prefer. When it comes to the technical side, it does look like that the iPhone 8 Plus is handling exposure better and has slightly better noise reduction. On the nighttime video, it shows the same. The Note 8 tends to crank up ISO, creating a brighter but noisier video. But keep in mind, if you use the manual mode, you can just adjust that. This is just to show you what the auto mode is like if you were to just start shooting video. They are both super noisy, but the iPhone's noise reduction is noticeably better. Let's end this with the front-facing camera shots. The angle is wider this year on the new iPhone, so that's a good thing, and they are both good, but I feel like the iPhone is exposing for the skin tones better, so let me know which ones you think had better exposure, better skin tones, and let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this comparison of two fantastic cameras, and let me know which one that you like better. Smack that like button if you enjoyed it. And if you want to make your phones look like these, I will leave a link for dbrand skins down below. Pick up this black dragon skin. It is fire. Subscribe to the channel if you feel like being awesome. And I will see you guys in the next one.